Welcome to Paris 47. The show is just about to start. This is the red carpet event of the season, and the guest list is a veritable who's who of the global fashion elite. You will find Viktor Novikov basking in the spotlight, while Dalia Margolis hosts the heavily
Hello everybody and welcome back to the How Silent Can We Be challenge. Today we find ourselves in Paris, France, doing the Showstopping mission, as we feel like 47 needed a very, very nice change of pace, especially due to the last two installments. If you're unfamiliar with the rules, you'll find them on your screen now, but without further ado, let's get into today's run. So let's start off with our loadout. Now I have been blessed by the gods of tomfoolery to give me an ICA audio distraction device, 3 coins and the big one.
The big one.
The big one. The big one.
The big one.
With our loadout defined, I make my way through the entrance, ensuring only the back of my bald beautiful head is captured on the camera behind me, and it is here where we see my first target, Viktor Novikov. Viktor is an information broker who has been recently dealing with the shadow client who's not our best friend at the minute. Even worse, he's an outfit stealer. I say I wore it better, but I guess we'll never know, because he'll be dead soon. Seeing the crowd go absolutely mild for him, I use this time to slip away into the first restricted area. I am not wasting any time. I pick up the big one and make my way down the stairs as timing would be on my side, allowing me to slip right past the camera and take this fire extinguisher for later. Now I do plan to use it on this guard, but not in the way that you think. He will not be penetrated today. Tomorrow might be a different story. But no, I spend the next minute waiting for their route to conclude, as I've got to line this up perfectly with timing. Taking a look at our minimap, the guard, who is currently on the bottom right, will only go between there and this door. The guard in the middle will only go there and to the bottom of the room, and the guard in the most upper right will only stay there. So using this, we can now throw this fire extinguisher to trigger both of them to become distracted for a moment. It will obviously result in the one closer going to investigate, whilst the other one mainly sticks around. But most of the time you will get unlucky with timing, which is because you've got to both wait for the guard and the camera, but this is still doable in terms of removing evidence. We just need to keep him there for a bit longer. Now ideally we could have done with that guard staying at his post, but we do not live in an ideal world. And plus, through trial and error, I've learnt that you can literally disable the security system and that guy will not bat an eye. I'm putting it down to a blind spot in the AI, so, you know, beggars can't be choosers, so why complain? But with that, and as we officially leave the basement, we've completed stage 1 of the assassination, which is just to get the security system out of the way. This is how we did it in Sapienza. We skipped it in Hokkaido because it would have been impossible. And now we're on to stage 2, which is the main prerequisite for our assassination, which is to gain access to the firework controls. Now this is pretty much the stealth segment part of the run, where I just evade people, because it's not only what I excel at in real life, it's something I also excel at in Hitman. But our main goal at the minute is just to make our way over here. We wait for this little charade of guards to go away, before finally setting our sights on a security guard and a tech guy. Now we get rid of the security guard by just throwing a coin. Everyone in Hitman is very simple-minded. A coin could attract a crowd, they say. And as we wait for him, we line up the shot for the tech guy. Tech guy takes the bait. Well, he takes a second to take the bait. There we go. And then I take the remote. And now the only thing we've got left to do is attend a very auctiony gathering. Now I choose to make my way back through the basement because not only is it just the smartest thing to do in terms of not being caught for trespass, I also felt the need to return this fire extinguisher. Murder? Completely fine. But interfering with safety protocols? I could never. That is despicable even for me. I have framed a man who was high on happiness for murder. But no, I could never, ever mess about with safety protocols. I put one of my devices away as I expect to get frisked on my way up, but then I remember, oh, I need the invitation from the second floor. But no matter what outfit I'm wearing, I'm still allowed on the third floor as long as I just make it there. And as long as I make it there, my restrictions for certain pathways no longer exists. So I choose to make the most logical way to accept the invitation, and that is by climbing another drainage pipe. Now, after various calisthenics training, I make my way all the way up to the top, perform a nice swift vault, and even though a lot of drinks smash, nobody suspects a thing. They just see me as a nice, quirky individual. Now that is Dalia Margolis, who is our secondary target. But we aren't going to prioritise one over the other. We are going to do 2 birds with 1 stone. And how do we get those 2 birds? Well, we're going to set off some fireworks, as that would obviously attract birds. Now, it's at this point I choose to make my save file in case anything goes wrong, because, you know, always prepare for the worst. And now, as the beautiful show begins, I stand here and wait for my prey to fall into my trap. Dalia finally gets off her phone after what seems like an eternity to get a better view as she spots Viktor at the bottom. This tells me that it's time for me to become the stone that kills 2 birds. With 1 swift push, trip, Dalia falls and ends up taking Viktor's life alongside her own. This bodyguard here should have not been hired in the first place, as he was quite literally oblivious to the whole thing. Now obviously there'll be no fingerprints found on Dalia, as, you know, we're wearing our marvellous gloves. But what we do need to consider is who truly was the victim in that altercation. Dalia? Yes. Viktor? I don't think as much. The dude probably died before he even realised what happened. He probably didn't have any realisation that he actually died. And, you know, he got squished by that ass. So, can we really sympathise with him? No, we can only be envious of him. I do consider taking the helicopter approach in terms of exits before I realised that'd be unorthodox, and that is also a restricted area in a map where I can't use any disguises other than a vampire disguise. Now as I make my way out, I do initially go the wrong way. With 1 swift warning, I put myself back on the right track, and this is what I mean earlier. Normally if I tried to go straight in from here, I would have been stopped at the door. But because I've already been up there, the game tells all the NPCs, yo, he's fine. Let my guy through. But yeah, this has been Paris, and it was a nice change of pace. This only took, I think, 3 attempts. The first attempt was just pure raw dogging it. I just needed to find a route that'd work. The second run was purely just getting it right, getting the timing right, and making sure I knew what to do. And then the third run is obviously the one you're seeing now, a very nice and elegant run, which did provide very satisfactory results. So yeah, I did do a different type of editing style in this video. I would like to know if anybody found it any better, because I'm still trying to tweak out the fine bits of my channel as I'm currently getting into the consistency of making content, trying to upload twice a week as to not overload the algorithm. But yeah, I would like some criticism. If anybody has it, it is more than welcome, don't worry about it. And this has been the 3rd installment in the How Silent Can We Be challenge. I have been Final Save Joe, and I hope you enjoyed the video.